he even conscious? He slapped him. That's all I could do. The impact of falling from 30 meters. It's just like the time I fell from the top of the jungle gym when I was a kid. I'm spitting up blood. That means major organ damage. I feel like I want to fall to my knees. Collapse on the ground. It's like my legs are holding up a giant rock. And I just want to let it crush me.
No matter how tough Baki is, falling from that height, it's more than any human could endure.
There's no way it wasn't hurt. I'm surprised it can even stand.
He momentarily forgot the overwhelming pain, but his lungs had been crushed, and he found that he could hardly speak.
Don't you fucking pray! I know you've been around longer than me. By millions and millions of years. But I don't need your pity, old man. What is Baki doing?
Reckless little fool. Unbelievable.
Was this more camouflage? Pickle was confused. He knew that camouflage was used by things pretending to be dead, or feigning weakness, or by things trying to trick your eyes in order to avoid detection. Camouflage was used for survival, and yet Pickle had seen this man repeat that same action that had so badly hurt him in the first place, thereby increasing the damage to his already gravely injured body. Can such a camouflage as this exist? Could death be a camouflage? Can such a being exist? The weak eats the mighty?
And after all of that, Baki missed him.
There's no way he could have recovered. Wait a minute.
Pickle's down!
What? What now? Baki didn't even touch him.
Retsu, what exactly is happening here? I can't speak with certainty, but I have an idea. Whether it's ancient dinosaurs or the best modern fighters, nothing has been able to deliver a blow strong enough to overcome the resilience of Pickle's body. I think Baki realized that no direct blow with foot or fist would ever shake that primeval brain. That's why he struck him with just the surface of the skin.
What?
The punch doesn't land. It only grazes the chin. It's a technique used in the boxing ring, albeit rarely. A sudden flick of a boxer's glove, so quick it's mistaken for a miss, and the other boxer goes down. Sometimes, never to get up again.
True. Unexplainable knockouts like that have been known to happen.
It is unexpected and effective. Someone who can withstand a punch through a cushion will black out when only the cushion is struck. A thin layer of skin on the unguarded jaw is just grazed, but the blow is so fast that it shakes the jaw, and imperceptibly, the brain at a super high speed invisible to the naked eye.
So, he didn't miss him.
No, he hit him, but only with this. The surface of the skin. Once with his left fist, once with his right fist, and once with the heel of his foot. No doubt Pickle's brain started vibrating with the first blow, and the speed of the vibrations would have been increased by the second and third blows. The result was, he lost the normal functioning of his brain, which must have been very puzzling and alarming to Pickle. 1 minute he's untouched, unhurt, and standing upright, and the next minute, the ground is coming up to meet him. That attack would have been something completely outside his experience. Pickle's in a state of utter confusion right now.
It was just as Sea King Retsu surmised. Dazed by a blow he hadn't even felt, Pickle now saw standing there before him a man who had been on the... who hadn't even begun to recover from his injuries. This man had transformed himself into a sorcerer who could control the ground beneath their feet. Pickle's whole body was trembling, but still he did not run. He had overcome blows. He had overcome weight. He had overcome strength. He had overcome danger. He had even overcome that. A sense of invincibility was engraved in every particle of his being. He had come here and been challenged by small men with the strength of giants, and he had overcome pain too. But this was different. This was a new experience beyond his comprehension. The unprecedented experience of his body slamming into the ground. Twice. Pickle couldn't do that. Make the ground move like that. He'd never thought of making it move. Even that thing couldn't make it move. But he could. The primitive man knew he would barely be able to hold his own against this little giant who could move the ground.
No. I still haven't recovered from the first fall, let alone the second. I can't attack him head on. Not yet. Sorry about this, Pickle.
Is he doing what I think he's doing?
Wish I didn't have to. But I'm gonna do something that's a little bit mean.
I can't believe I'm only seeing it now. Why didn't I think of that when I was fighting with Pickle? Baki, my boy, you're a born genius. That's what hell feels like, Pickle. stays in spite of all his toughness.
Look at the mark Bucky's hand left on his back.
Can you explain that one? That one's a killer. It's known as the whip strike, and it has the same effect on everyone from infants to Yujiro Hanma. It's taught in the Japanese art of Kudo. It's a hybrid form of martial arts. In Kung Fu, it's known as Columbus's egg. The muscles are relaxed until they're loose and flaccid. Every part of the body goes completely limp. Strangely enough, as the body is made loose, the hands and feet increase in weight. At last, when even the tension in the face has disappeared, the body becomes a whip. At this point, it's no longer a question of looking for an opponent's weak spots. Because now the target of the attack is the largest organ of the human body, the skin. Whether it's the skin of a hardened, well-honed warrior, or the soft flesh of a young maiden, a blow to it from a perfectly flaccid hand is equally painful. Take a punch to the face. Hanayama, what? It's going to hurt you less than it would, say, a small child, right? But with a slap, it doesn't matter whether you're a child or the unconquerable Kaoru Hanayama. The intensity of the pain will be the same.
You may be right.
You are right. And yet, in the entire history of life on Earth, from 2 billion years ago, when proteins began the mutations that would ultimately result in human beings,
Where are you going with this?
of the many millions of creatures that have developed over that time,
You are going to get to the point eventually, I hope.
has there ever been another living creature that transformed itself into a whip and targeted the skin? No, not that I can think of.
Is that a metaphorical question?
On second thought, perhaps there is one creature. The human female. Women have been known to do it.
Oh, like a slap in the face, you mean? Yes, they'll do that. Or, will you look at that? I've never seen Pickle in such a defensive posture before.
Even he has to defend himself. For him, this situation is like nothing he's ever had to face before.
That's it, Bucky. You've done it. You've got that caveman on the ropes now.
Badly. But it stung his pride. That's what he did. Right before he attacked me and brought our match to an end. And there's no using the whip strike again. That's right. But I suspect that Baki is fully aware of that already. What? Again? The whip strike?
Huh? Has he run out of tricks? How does he think that's gonna work? Pickle will flatten him before he can even use it.
Hold on. That's something else. Kokeiken?
What's Kokeiken?
A style of Kung Fu that integrates the form and strength of a tiger. But I don't understand. Why use Kung Fu at this point? Yosuken. Toroken. Saruken. Yushoken.
What the heck? Is there any actual fighting involved, or does he just hate animals?
Genius. His ability to master the integration of so many different animals can only be described as genius. But I hope you haven't forgotten, Baki. Of all those beasts you've so perfectly emulated, there's not one of them that wouldn't be prey for Pickle. Even if you did more than just emulate them, and actually transformed into those animals, they could never win against that savage. What are you going to emulate next? This is an animal as well. What? Whatever it is, it's strong. Incredibly strong. And big. Enormous. An elephant. A rhino. No, it can't be. Triceratops.
Pickle was utterly bewildered. This man was less than half his size, and yet, in this small, supposedly helpless figure, he sensed he was facing the most powerful opponent he'd ever known. The impression of boulder-like weight and enormous power, as if a colossal tree had learned how to move. The iron will that never wavered until the enemy had been destroyed. Those things, all those things, in this body, here, in this little body, he could sense their presence.
It's incredible. I'd have never believed it if I hadn't seen it myself. Baki's so small compared to Pickle, and yet with that one move, he's got him completely intimidated.
Size has nothing to do with it. I'm twice the size he is, and I couldn't do what he's doing. I don't think anyone could.
What now? Has he got something else up his sleeve?
He's focusing upward, toward the sky.
Oh, it's a flying bird. Is that what he's doing? Woo! That's a T-Rex, I think.
Pickle had seen this sorcerer move the ground. Now he watched him changing shapes. He could no longer envision the man in his true form. In Pickle's eyes, he had been utterly transformed into the mightiest beasts that roamed the earth.
Oh, truly incredible. It's like magic.
He had never seen a monster like this. It had the T-Rex's teeth and tail, the Triceratops' feet and horns, the Pteranodon's wings and talons, the weapons of three powerful foes combined in one creature, each one of them already deadly enough. Their strength had been engraved onto his mind and body. Here it comes. The teeth, the horns, the talons, the feet, all of them at once. But Pickle knew nothing of the martial arts. Understandably, he mistook the pain he felt as coming from a T-Rex attack.
Now I get it.
Hey!
Don't push it too far.
That's right. No matter the... Whenever they meet, it's their first fight.
He's just gonna rush in like that?
Don't get reckless, Bucky.
Fun fights. Olympics before World War II, sprinters used various styles of starting positions. Essentially, the history of the starting position has been the history of getting as close to horizontal. Eventually, a consensus was arrived at that the crouching stance was the best position from which to start a short distance race. With the help of a device called a starting block, the human body can get remarkably close to horizontal, and yet, that's still not fully horizontal. It was on this day that a man achieved a fully horizontal starting position for the first time. But the man who accomplished this incredible and unprecedented feat was no modern-day human. The time it took for him to make contact with Bucky was less than a second. Asked about it later, Sea King Retsu had this to say about what he saw during that moment.
It all happened in the blink of an eye, but I can sense many things in that moment. First of all, I sense that this is what Pickle must have done back in the Cretaceous period. Sometimes he'd use a tree for leverage, sometimes a boulder. That's how he was able to stop a beast that weighed 5 tons. And in that same instant, I had another thought. Baki weighed only about 150 pounds. If I, who weigh more than 220 pounds, couldn't withstand Pickle's charge, how could he hope to? What's more, Pickle had only started from a crouch when he launched his attack on me. This time, it would be even more devastating. I thought, I'm seeing the end of this fight right here. Huh? In such a brief period of time, how could I have so many thoughts? Well, you know what it's like? It's like taking a bite of a truly delicious curry and rice. It's spicy, salty, sweet, a little sour. There's the aroma, the richness, the texture of the rice, the subtlety of the spices. Describing every sensation triggered by that bite. Well, it would take a lot longer than it took to eat it. Does that help you see what I mean? Anyway, at that point, what me was that Bucky stood his ground. He dropped his stance and faced Pickle. He just stood there. He didn't even try to dodge. He took the full force of the attack. Nevertheless, it was Pickle who was sent flying. Not just staggered or knocked backwards. but literally sent flying, high and far.
They sent Pickle to outer space.
That's not a jujutsu attack, or aikido.
And yet somehow a man who weighs more than 450 pounds was sent flying up into the rafters by someone half his size with a flick of the wrist. That Pickle is amazing. Just look at him. Didn't even face him.
Very impressive. You're one tough bastard.
Why do you say that? It was Baki who threw Pickle, wasn't it? What's so amazing about getting thrown halfway to the moon?
I don't know the physics behind it, but it's more like he threw himself. The stronger the forward thrust of an object, the more vulnerable it is to a force from the side. That's why a bullet fired into a body doesn't follow a straight line. It can come off the side or the shoulder. The path it takes can be affected by any soft tissue it runs into. There are times when even something as flimsy as the leaf of a houseplant can bend a bullet's trajectory.
Just the merest flick of the wrist. Champion Sonny Liston and the young Cassius Clay. At one point, Liston threw a powerhouse right, and Clay brushed it aside with a flick of the glove. The result of that one small move was that Liston's shoulder was dislocated. Most experts credited Clay's strength for causing the injury, but they had it wrong. In fact, it was the force behind his punch, more than Clay's deflection of it.
There. You see that, Pickle? I peed in 8 different spots. Since you've decided to cower in the shadows up there, I've marked this arena as my... Let's finish this thing and there. Oh, man. You really are strong, aren't you? There's no doubt about that. Even when I try to protect my vulnerable spots by blocking his blows with my arms. And my arms become my vulnerable spots. That's how strong he is. Oh, look. The lights again. That's the 3rd time I've been up here today. When I drink like this, that's who I think of. Biscuit Oliver, Mr. Unchained. Yeah, that's something I'd love to see. And he'd do it too. He'd take Pickle on head to head. Man, that would be a fight for all ages. And speaking of head to head fighters, there's that guy standing right over there. Those shoulders, those fists. He's the same way. Ain't no cheap tricks with him. Yeah, he'd take Pickle on face to face. Well, of course, face to face. What other way is there? Back to back. I've lived for 18 years. Mindfully, diligently. I have lived to win, to be the best. And I have followed in the footsteps of the most powerful being on earth, Yujiro Hanma. But why? Why? What do you mean, why? Why do I need a reason? Do I need a reason to fight Yujiro Hanma? Okay, maybe it's to get vengeance for what happened to my... That's right. That was 4 years ago. Do I hate him? Yes. Do I admire him? No, don't be stupid. Why would I admire him? But there is one thing. Later, every inch of him is flawless. Way. Say I trust him. That's why I tried to copy that back. Emulate those fists. Emulate that speed. That's how I can do this. Dodge these attacks. I know I'd be in serious trouble if just one of these blows landed. Can't dodge them, even if I wait till the very last second.
They came closer and closer, but still he dodged them, with no time to spare. He managed to move his body just enough to avoid contact. Then, one blow touched his hair. Another grazed his skin. He wasn't just fighting anymore. It was more like he was performing a dance. An intricate dance. It was like he was in a bullfight, and he was the matador.
Pickle had seen many kinds of speed before. On land, in the water, in the air. Sure, he'd caught it that time. That's when Pickle suddenly realized that there were beings in this world who travel through his body. The fighter known far and wide as the father of fighting karate once said, "I have faced many blows. I have faced many kicks. I've been attacked with many elbows, knees, and headbutts. With steel pipes, stones, and even knives. But at the last second, he said he had passed through his opponent. This, of course, was physically impossible. But after countless hours spent honing his skills at outmaneuvering an opponent, his defenses, his reactions, his footwork had all been stripped of any excess movement. He had transcended merely circling his opponents and entered a state of passing. Is this? Just how many tricks is he capable of?
Incredible. To think that Baki's fighting abilities have reached this level. Could I have ever done that? Done what he's doing?
It was no wonder that Pickle was confused. This opponent, who was always just out of reach, had suddenly appeared right at his feet. In his hand, an invisible blade, like a matador's sword, which he now thrust into his prey's most sensitive spot. It penetrated deep. He could predict just how great the coming pain would be. Just as when we stub our tongue, or when we're hit hard with the solar plexus. Before. The pain. Just as he had thought. Even worse than he had thought.
Well, that seemed to do the trick.
Of course it did. The trusty kick to the groin. I've never known it to fail.
How is this so? How can a blow to two such tiny parts of the body cause so much pain?
It's not about size. Their importance is far from small. The testicles are vital internal organs.
Eh?
But they're fragile. While in the womb, they're formed inside the abdomen and only descend shortly before birth. They're weak. No part of a man's body is weaker. Not the heart, liver, stomach, or even the brain. All those organs are kept safe and secure by thick layers of muscle and fat, by bones, and by a sturdy skull. Because they've been given the vital task of producing sperm, the testicles must be kept cool for the sperm to thrive. So they're kept outside of the body with their own protection. No, it's not.
It's not?
The look on his face when he went down. Will you stay down, or will you get back up again? After a blow like that, you instantly make a decision deep in your heart. It's either I'm done, I give up, leave me alone, or it's how dare you? I'll make you pay for that. In that moment, as you collapse, your expression tells it all. Your strength of heart, your will to get back up and fight. It's written on your face. And from the look on Pickle's face as he went down. Not only is that caveman gonna get back up, but I think Baki's really made his blood boil now.
Both their bodies were trembling nervous anticipation, with rage.
It's been a long, hard battle. Now comes the war. That face. That stance.
Subtle, and yet,
Sonetto. Anche dopo 3 dentro
At first, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. We never imagined that such a thing was even possible. The first to notice, of course, was Baki. Wounds. The sort of wounds that might have come from the slash of a falchion. The old scars ran in a diagonal line.
Claws. Spikes. Must have been something from his own time.
Who or what made them? Not the amazing answer. We were stunned when we saw the same scars ran across his back. Matching scars on his front and back. There is only one thing it could mean. From their shape, their size, their age. They had been made. But Tyrannosaurus Rex. Our shock, our pity, our esteem. How do you suppose we express them? As one, without consulting each other, we all simultaneously began to applaud.
By rearranging his joints, he transformed into full battle mode. This was Pickle's final form.
All right. So now we can really get down to business. This is when the real battle begins.
Elbows, wrists, and hips was truly uncanny. With the awakening of his primeval memories, the densest parts of his body became even more solid. The parts that were strong became even stronger. The parts that were tough before became even more resilient.
Minimum.
We've lost something. We've left something behind. This is what this. Ever more powerful weapons. We've lost these other things, one by one, until we're no.
I'm right. Damn it, Bucky. Gotta do better.
Stary słuchawka.
Bucky should have been sent flying by Pickle's blow, but he's barely budged.
I bet I know what you're thinking. How am I still here after that punch? It's simple. I met your strength with all of my strength. Only quicker and at a sharper angle. They call it skill, along with evolution. You see, we've learned a few things since your time. Things like the martial arts. I'll put what I've got
Dobra.
against what you've got any day. We match up well in a lot of things. Strength, speed, stamina, experience. We're pretty much even on those. We both know what this means, and neither of us wants to lose. But maybe you have the advantage all the way around. And of course, when it comes to the sheer weight and size of our bodies, there's no comparison. So, if that's the case, how can I even fight you? What do I have to work with? My moves. The moves and skill. For so long, I can't even remember when I started. I've endured pain, honed my body, nourished myself, faced challenges and fought. The unconscious formation of the fist, the instinctive placement of the feet, the natural breathing rhythm, eyes that know exactly what to look for. These fighting skills, passed down from ancient times, live within me. Skills that were created to ensure survival, sharpened for self-defense, fed on hatred, passed down through song. These are the links in a chain that bind me together.
Suddenly, Bucky saw it. Awakened to his own history, he was now able to see supported Pickle.
What is it? What is it he's seeing?
What's wrong with Pickle? Why is he crying?
This is more than a fight. It's all-out war. I have never faced a more formidable opponent. What do I do in this situation? What's my move? Should I try it? Just try throwing it out there and see what happens? Or do I play it safe? I could probably dodge or block it. Man, what should I do? Okay, you're running out of time, Baki. You gotta make a decision. Huh. That's what it is, huh? Bold choice. You didn't dodge or block. You literally beat him to the punch. You have to anticipate your opponent's moves, get into his flow, and use his own momentum to counterattack.
Now, you'll get two effects from a solid counterpunch. There's the physical effect, of course. Even a small amount of force can have an outsized impact. But even more important is its effect on your opponent's morale. When your heart and mind are solely focused on attacking, your jaw tends to fall open, your neck muscles go slack. At that moment, you've forgotten that you can get hit too. You don't easily recover from a blow like that before the count of 10. When a fighter, any fighter, forgets that he can be hit, even as strong and tough a fighter as Pickle, he becomes as defenseless as a newborn infant.
There was once a boxer with a punch so devastating that it was said he could stop an elephant in its tracks. That man was George Foreman, the heavyweight champion of the world, and he had the highest knockout rate in history, though the great majority of his victories had come from technical knockouts and not 10 counts. Facing him was a fighter who'd been described as pound for pound the weakest champion in history, Muhammad Ali, known as the greatest. With his lightning-fast phantom punches, he forced many boxers, including Foreman, to endure the losing end of a 10 count.
A clever counterpunch comes out of nowhere. A complete surprise to the opponent. That's exactly what Baki did. That's how he was able to trade punches with a larger and stronger man. That's how he forced Pickle back against the ropes.
I've been attacked by giant teeth, Pickle told himself, but I smashed them all with my fists. I've been attacked by razor-sharp claws, but I grabbed, twisted, and broke them. Great size, I won. Against great speed, I won. I won. I won. I won. In my world, I was the greatest. But in this world, I feel cornered. Strength advantage wasn't working. The primordial man was bewildered. He had never encountered moves like this, or such mystifying fighting skills. And then...
I can't even see him.
Look at his fight with Jack. It's lightning fast teleportation. Pickle is going to take cover, but it's not working. Everywhere he goes,
Baki's right there with him. That's
told you. You remember? I'm staying right here. I'm not going anywhere.
The huge difference in size, the vast disparity in strength. They were overcome by a tool of civilization known as the martial arts. Baki was on the verge of victory. At that moment, as glory fell within his reach, something new sprouted in the young man's heart. A bad habit was born. As he gazed at the other's outthrust fists, it dawned on Pickle that this man was offering him the opportunity to decide this fight on stamina alone. It was a reckless act of insatiable greed on the young man's part. He had carelessly thrown away a sure victory earned by his skills, and instead sought to prove that he could beat his opponent in a test of stamina. It wasn't long before the difference in their stamina was manifested, and the result was as inevitable as the sun rising in the east, or water flowing to the lowest point. Pickle executed a move. During the course of this contest, he had sensed his own fear, the fear of losing to this modern man. And motivated by this fear, the primordial man had acquired a new weapon. Their battle was over.
Pickle's not even trying to move, and Bucky couldn't move if he tried. Well then, do either of you two have an opinion?
Foolish question. There's only one opinion that anyone could have. If Pickle had wanted to kill Baki, he certainly could have. So clearly, Pickle won.
I have a different opinion.
Oh?
The only way that we can ever compete against the strong is by executing moves. Moves are weapons.
Uh-huh.
Pickle is strong already, and huge. For him to have acquired that weapon as well. It's an unwritten rule that the strong don't have the right to use tricks.
That's funny coming from you, Kaoru Hanayama. You were born with strength to spare. What do you say about Baki? Pretty sure we just watched him back Pickle into a corner.
My heart tells me the victory should be his.
Retsu, who lives by martial arts, and Hanayama, who lives by masculinity. You are both right, and you are both harsh. Look!
He's standing. How? We're going to let him just walk out.
Oh, let him go. He's not an animal, after all. Though Professor Payne will probably throw a fit.
Well, it seems my patient has walked out on me. Obviously, my services weren't needed. Waste of time.
Whenever he's hurt and feeling depressed, there's a sight he longs to see.
Good choice. This spot definitely has the best view. It's amazing how much you can see from up here. And how far, too. All the way back to a time before history. When none of this was here. When the world was new and untouched. And it was your world. This is beautiful. Mind if I sit here and share with you?
On that same day in Washington, D.C., a secret meeting was taking place at the prestigious St. Rena's Hotel. Prior to this meeting, a 700-meter security perimeter had been established around the location.
In all this time since I've been in office, this must be the first time I've taken a meeting without having this Secret Service hiding in the woodwork. Which, when you think about it, is a little bit strange since you're generally considered to be one of the most dangerous people on the planet.
You sure talk a lot.
Oh, sorry. Allow me to get straight to the point then. Ever since the time of my predecessor, Ronald Reagan, every single U.S. president has signed a formal treaty of friendship with the man known as the Ogre or Yujiro Hanma. I was only informed of this secret just last week, and I must say, when I first heard about it,
Just get on with it, will ya?
sorry, I got carried away. Okay, let's wrap this up. I won't waste any more of your time. I hereby swear that the United States of America will do its utmost to maintain an amicable relationship with Master Yujiro Hanma. That we will respect your interest and leave you free to pursue them as you see fit. That we will never interfere with you or your actions, regardless of anything that might happen. That I will faithfully execute and abide by this treaty of friendship, I do solemnly swear as President of the United States, Barack Obama.
It's a pain to have to do this every 4 years.
A lump of coal, they say, if you apply pressure to it equal to 100,000 atmospheres, it will turn into a diamond. Now, that's not something that most folks get a chance to see with their own eyes. So I was thinking, Mr. Ogre, if it's true you're more powerful than a nuclear bomb, maybe you could do it with your bare hands?
You too, huh? You're no different than President Bosch.
He cut that glass tabletop in half, just as if he were using a diamond.
It's not worth as much as a real one.
Oh, damn. Yes, you could.
As for what to do about Pickle, I don't think there's any room for debate. The only humane choice is to return him to his original state. After all, it's only because of human curiosity that he's even here. Professor Payne, what do you think?
You make it sound so simple. If by returning him to his original state, you mean we should put him back in that salt mine in Colorado, what's to prevent him from being unearthed again years from now? Will Pickle fit in any better in a society in the distant future? I have to say that this humane solution of yours doesn't strike me as much of a solution at all. You'll merely be kicking our problem down the road and leaving it for a later generation to deal with.
I quite agree. Pickle is our responsibility, and we should resolve this situation.
Tell me, Mr. Stridham, are they true? These rumors that we've all heard? That you forced that priceless human artifact to engage in bloody hand-to-hand combat with various fighters and martial arts specialists?
I was honoring the promise I made to him.
Promise? How can you make a promise to someone who doesn't even understand language?
It wasn't a promise made with words.
In classrooms, in workplaces, anywhere and everywhere that people gathered, the topic of what to do with Pickle was discussed. The people of the world to decide his fate. After a worldwide referendum of 1 billion people, and by a margin of little more than 1,000 votes, a decision was made.
What's your reaction to the outcome, Professor Payne?
Decision the people have made. I have no choice but to remain silent. Those 1,000 votes are proof that humanity are fools. This outcome can only be described as very unfortunate for Pickle. We're avoiding our responsibility. We're just sealing away the opportunity to unlock the riddle of Pickle. What
is this? It's Pickle. What's he doing here?
This was Pickle's way of showing Stridham his appreciation. He had brought him a gift for having fulfilled his promise. Pickle scoffed at the world and vanished into the maze of Tokyo.
It's me. Get over here. Right now. No, it can't wait. There are 60 million more women where that one came from. Now, get over here.
It's unbelievable.
This better be important.
Mogi, look at this.
There may be 60 million women out there eager to meet you, but someone like me, I'll be lucky if there's 6 of them.
Shut up. Come here.
Huh? Is that a brain? But from who or what?
Definitely hominid. It's the cerebrum of an 18-year-old Japanese male.
But those folds and creases, it's not possible. No way.
So now you can see why I called you here. I wanted the opinion of the country's foremost neuroscientist. I've had a little experience in the field, too, though nothing like yours, of course. But I know that the folds of the brain aren't related to character. That's just a given. But still, compared to any normal human brain, this one has all the signs of being demonic. Tell me, Mogi, are we sure that the folds of the brain have no relation to a person's character?
Koreha, the only thing that we know for sure is that we know almost nothing about the brain. It's an incredible thing, the human brain, the most awesome organ of all. But in all my experience, I've never seen anything even remotely as incredible as this. Yes, sorry. Where were we? As to your question, I have to choose my words very judiciously and very carefully here, being a neuroscientist.
Of course you do.
While it generally has been accepted that the folds of the brain and character are unrelated, in this case, Koreha, there's no doubt the person that this brain belongs to is a demon.
Mogi, I do believe you're right.
I never would have believed I'd actually be saying it.
That same evening, in a certain part of Tokyo,
Oh my God! Watch out!
there was a brief article in the newspaper the next day about a surging mob of panicking rats. No mention was made of what caused the rats to panic, because no one could have known that the cause was a lone young man who had happened to walk through that same park just a few moments later.
Face. It was hard to believe. That face, so handsome, so brimming with self-confidence. To think that that face would turn into this, when everything behind it had been stripped away. All the pretense, arrogance, false courage, self-importance, pride, and ego. His tears, his snot, his saliva. The liquid comprised of them all mixed together. It was beautiful. Was it wrong of me? No. I wonder how long we remained there like that. Long enough for my clothes to become heavy with his tears.
Thank you for all that you've given me. Thank you. Can I ask you something?
Huh?
What did that mean just now? Why did you hold me for so long? You held me with such warmth, emotion, such passion.
I can't really explain it well, but if your mother were here, I'm sure she would have done the same.
Then, it wasn't like I was your lover?
No, but it was love.
How can you say that it was love when you just said yourself I wasn't your lover?
There's no need of romantic love in an act of love. Your mother can love you without her having to be in love with you.
I fell in love with an incredible woman, didn't I? I can really see now I'm just an amateur when it comes to love. So then, I'm guessing it's not a mother's love that you feel for Baki Hanma. I lost the fight, and I lost my love. But thanks again for even loving me at all. Do I feel like a loser? Not at all. Baki Hanma didn't even have to compete for it. How can I be a loser when I was never even in the running?
See you later.
It's been a while since we've seen each other, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy.
Oh yeah? Doing what?
Having a great time.
That's what
I was kidding, you idiot.
I just want you to be happy, Kozue. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, right. There's no one. We still want us to be together. At least a little longer.
Yo, Kure. Why not cut him up?
Yeah, why not?
To a thug like this, a clear assessment of his prey's strength can be a matter of life and death. The young thug would later recall that a strange thing happened at that moment. The knife he held in his hand suddenly started to shrink. It shrank and shrank until it was as small and useless as a peanut.
Really, my boy? Picking on such a pair of weaklings?
Mr. Kuryagawa.
You ought to thank me for intervening, young man. If I'd arrived a moment later, goodness knows what you'd be dealing with now. A shattered kneecap, a broken jaw, a fractured skull, a punctured lung, a concussion. Need I go on, or are you starting to get the picture?
It's good to see you again.
The world's ever seen. The final battle between father and son.
It's not that big of a deal. It's just a simple fight.
There's nothing.
Bucky. Go on now! Make your father happy!
Here I come, Father!
Trust me. I have questioned myself many, many times. Do I actually hate him? This man that I'm supposed to despise. I wonder, Mr. Kuragawa, is my father the only one who deserves to pay for my mother's death? Because I'm not so sure.
What makes you ask that, Baki?
Oh, my mother. She wasn't your ordinary mother, now was she?
By marrying Eiichi Akazawa, the head of a wealthy and internationally renowned family, she had secured herself a life of magnificent comfort. But then, she met the strongest man in the world. That changed everything. She saw a man injured, crushed, killed, and realized she enjoyed seeing it. She wanted to see more. There was a cruelty lying dormant within her, and Yujiro recognized it at once. I know what you want. I knew it right away. You like seeing blood. You want it more than anything else in the world. Look at your face in a mirror. You're smiling. You're the woman I've been looking for. You will give birth to my child. No, she was not an ordinary mother. As the one responsible for raising Baki, she gave him a place to live and money to live on. She also saw to it that he had the best coaches and training facilities. She raised her son to be an elite fighter. She did all this to gain the love of Yujiro Hanma, the strongest man of all men, the ultimate male.
Just one more week. His son will be ready for him then. Baki will be the greatest gift I can give him.
She cared little about this boy who shared her blood. She had chosen romantic love over maternal love, and Baki was nothing more than a tool to help her get it. But as for Yujiro Hanma, the only thing he cared about was that Baki be strong enough to fight him. That and nothing else. The only purpose I ever had for you was to raise my son. I expect him to be prepared for this fight and to meet all my expectations. If he doesn't, then you were never anything better than a middle-aged prostitute. That's the extent of our relationship. All she had wanted was his love.
Why can't I make him love me? Why? Because you're weak. That's why. You're...
Yujiro, do you think you'll love me then?
He too wanted love.
I was barely conscious, but I could see them. My mother standing there, being embraced by my... She was crying.
Living only to satisfy your mother. living to earn the respect of your father. You hope to make her proud by doing well. You hope to win his approval and make him see that you have Hanma blood in you. But none of that matters. Baki, you have to decide where you want your life to go.
You must not have heard it.
What? Heard what?
Like the voice of an angel. That punch my father hit me with showed me how far I was from measuring up to him. And that's when it happened. My mom stood up to the strongest man in the world.
Stop, Yujiro!
But she didn't just stand up to the great brute. No, she punched him right in the face. And then she looked him square in the eye. And she said,
You're gonna have to fight me now!
you know what that means, right? To go one-on-one with a fighter like my father. And you know what you'll get for even so much as touching him, let alone punching him. So for my mother to stand there and challenge him to fight one-on-one meant that she was giving her life to try and save mine. Hearing those words was enough, and more than made up for everything else. I could die happy right now because of what she did that day. The reason I'm alive at all is because of her. Hearing her stand up to my father, it made me strong. Whatever strength I have, every last bit of it comes from those words of hers.
I see now. That's what's driving you. Not just to be stronger, but to be the absolute strongest of all.
I don't know about all that, but maybe.
I heard her speak the same words you did, and yet I wasn't listening. I'm the one who was wrong. Forgive me, Baki.
Oh, it's okay.
Now, recollecting these memories from his past, that Baki first began to understand just what it was inside him that compelled him into action. His fierce desire to surpass his father, to defeat his father. It wasn't to avenge his mother. It was to repay her love.
I know you're hiding, lurking in the shadows, thinking about himself. I won't let you. Maybe there's more lives left.
be the strongest person in the USA, but you're still just a convict to me. They've given you way too much space, in my opinion.
The truth of the matter is what you see is only 1/5 of what I've got.
I can see what's in front of me. You have way too much muscle and a book collection the size of a library. You don't want to let go of anything. Looks to me like you're showing signs of insecurity.
Don't be so sure. By the way, I heard that your son Baki had a battle with that caveman. How do you feel about the way it turned out?
Nice try, but I'm not gonna let you bait me. A weak man fought a strong man into a corner. As a result, he ultimately forced him to use the weapon called martial arts.
In the end, however, the weak man won.
How incredibly impure. How incredibly filthy. How incredibly muddled. How incredibly frivolous. Emotion, effort, diligence. Such dynamics often tarnish a pure fight. In the end, they complicate the simple fruit that is victory.
I see I'm at a disadvantage in a fist fight.
When this fight is over, we'll determine whose elevation is higher than sea level, whose head position is highest, and that person will victor. The moment the conflict ended, Biscuit Oliver's head was 3,625 feet above sea level, while Yujiro Hanma's head was positioned 3,628 feet above sea level.
I had a feeling things would end this way.
You are looking very healthy, sir. I'm pleased to see you doing so.
Quit being so formal. You've only been in office a short time. I imagine you found the job quite challenging.
The responsibility's so heavy, I sometimes regret it.
So then,
Yes, sir.
this weight that is causing you so much trouble, how many pounds would make it go away?
What do you mean by pounds?
Don't be naive. I'm talking about money, Mr. Prime Minister. Not just handfuls of yen, but so much you'll have to use pounds to measure it.
Excuse me? Use pounds.
I've prepared 600 pounds of yen for you to use. All told, that's more than 3 billion in currency. You're gonna need a truck to transport it. And now, Mr. Prime Minister, presuming that you're a realistic man, I have a rather important favor to ask.
I'm at your service. I'm lost here. It doesn't seem that complicated. Just a fight between father and son. So why does he want the country's approval?
Let me explain. When I took office, I was given an update about this situation. The previous Minister of Defense informed me of the existence of the man in question.
What? You were briefed? You're telling me you already knew about Yujiro Hanma all this time? Why didn't you speak up before? Who is he?
The fact is, I'm not really sure how to explain him. I know this. The man is mighty. He's strong, beyond imagination.
What type of strength?
Sheer brute strength. He's an unbelievable physical specimen.
Oh. Wait a minute. Like something superhuman?
Yes, sir. Stronger than anything I've ever seen.
This makes even less sense. We're a nation governed by laws. No matter how much strength this man has, he can't go rogue. The police would take him down, right?
No, I'm afraid they would not.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean, Minister?
A few administrations ago, the serving Prime Minister was assaulted in his official residence by Yujiro Hanma.
You've got to be kidding. Where were the security guards? How did he break in?
He didn't break in at all. He announced ahead of time that he was going to attack. There were no less than 100 fully equipped rifles standing guard.
And?
He cut right through them, like a knife through butter.
Is he a sorcerer? That's ridiculous.